Do you have much experience with unsolicited opinions?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty much all I deal with, so yeah.
Oh, nice.
Friends and fams.
Great.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to start with.
I come from a big family. There's 11 of us, and I've got 6 other sisters that have had children, and I am the first one with a child with ASD. So there was a lot of misunderstanding rather than noticing the support or help that I needed. So there's definitely a lack of understanding.
I think it's for a number of reasons. Lack of understanding from the black community. They stigmatise a lot. Ignorance, to be honest. They don't want to educate themselves on neurodivergence and how children are affected, or parents are affected, or the family is affected by having a child who is neurodivergent.
Relating as a parent is a lot harder because they don't know what you're going through. Like when I had my son, initially my nan had no idea how to support me. And she said, I don't know what kind of pregnancy you had. I don't know that experience.
I was raised in a community. My family is the community with so many. So at first it was that like, help, you know? Oh, you're older than me, you're a mom, you're a sister, you know, help, what should I do? But my response from them was, I don't know what you're going through. I cannot relate.
When it comes to events, when it comes to things like that, SEN families are not included in that. And I don't feel comfortable bringing my son to certain events that I know that I may like or my daughter may like, but it doesn't include my son and we're a unit. So therefore, I don't go.
You know, culturally, I think because we didn't have the education of specific diagnoses, so growing up, it was more like, oh, you see that person is a mad person, or, you know, them maddie is somebody, and all them kind of other stereotypes. But like you get older and you see how like, oh yeah, that one's dunce. No, they're not dunce. That's not the terminology. Like if you get to know them a little bit more, I'm sure you'll figure out maybe that person is autistic. Maybe that person has another learning difficulty.
They would say something to him, he doesn't respond. And I'm like, he's non-verbal. What do you mean by that? Him just not talk. Him I got talk. Where. You must just keep it from him. And he will say yes eventually or please. And I'm looking at them like, I don't know if you don't understand what the words non-verbal mean. But he's not being rude. That's just how his brain is working, and he cannot form language. So I'm not going to shout at him. I'm not going to beat him. I'm not going to ostracize him because you feel that that's the way it should be done. Because he's non-verbal doesn't mean he doesn't understand what you're saying. So I chose to, as he got older, to remove myself from family settings like that, because I'll be very quick to tell you that's not the one. So, yeah.
I remember when he was born, my little cousins were laughing at one TV show. I think it was Britain's Got Talent. There was a Down syndrome choir, and I had to leave the room and cry my eyes out because I said, this is the world that my son's going to go into. And if that's already coming from my family, how much worse is that going to be when he enters the world? I knew in that moment, I'm going to have to say something. They were only children. They knew no better. And we had a really good and really productive conversation. And now they're both adults and they're really lovely with my son. Like, I'm really grateful that his cousins have turned out to be amazing young men.
Obviously, coming from a background of Caribbean, sometimes you do have a little stigmas, which is, for instance, like some people say, pray it out. But then it's, as I said, it's down to getting knowledge about disabilities, because there is many, but it's, unless you educate, you don't know.
Now, you know, having my own child and like younger cousins and things like that, I get the opportunity to educate them on how to be a good cousin or family member to my son, and also to other people when they're out in the world.
Where I am now is different. Now I'm educated. Now I have more knowledge, so I have more understanding to actually explain.